Blood is the medium by which things flow throughout the body. Once again, the heart is merely a pump, the blood vessels are the conduit, and the blood is what contains entities moving throughout the body. We can describe the blood simplistically as containing three different components. One is blood plasma, another are red blood cells, and the third is the buffy coat, which includes white blood cells and platelets. The blood plasma composes roughly 55% of our blood. Red blood cells make up roughly 45% of our blood. The percentage of blood that's made up of red blood cells is known as hematocrit. Once again, plasma 55%, hematocrit 45%. Less than 1% of our blood composition is made up of white blood cells, known as leukocytes, and platelets. Red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets compose collectively what are known as formed elements. We don't call them true blood cells. We refer to them as formed elements because white blood cells are the only true cells of those three. Red blood cells are anucleated, meaning they don't have a nucleus, they don't have mitochondria. Platelets are fragmentary cells. White blood cells, otherwise known as leukocytes, are the only true cells, so collectively we call those three formed elements. Blood plasma is predominantly water, 92% water. It contains a number of plasma proteins such as hormones, antibodies, inactive precursors of other proteins such as fibrinogen and plasminogen. Albumin is probably the most common of the plasma proteins. A number of the plasma proteins are there to maintain fluid volume, but also as transport proteins for hydrophobic substances. The blood plasma is filled with electrolytes or ions such as sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium. The blood plasma also helps maintain body pH due to the fact that it carries a chemical buffer known as bicarbonate. The blood also helps regulate body temperature. The blood plasma also transports gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. The former is mainly transported inside red blood cells bound to hemoglobin, whereas CO2, otherwise known as carbon dioxide, is bound to hemoglobin and more often than not reacts with water in a chemical reaction to form bicarbonate. As far as the white blood cells go, neutrophils are the most common of the white blood cells. They act in phagocytosis of bacteria and secrete antimicrobial chemicals. Eosinophils help out in the acquired immunity. They also are activated during allergens and inflammatory responses, in addition to secreting enzymes that weaken or destroy parasites. Basophils secrete histamines, which cause vasodilation in blood vessels in order to increase blood flow to specific regions of the body. They also secrete a natural anticoagulant known as heparin. Monocytes differentiate into macrophages, which are the main phagocytic cell within our tissues, and lymphocytes play a huge role in our acquired immunity. So once again, our white blood cells, otherwise known as leukocytes, are composed of neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, and lymphocytes. Here's a look at a red blood cell, otherwise known as an erythrocyte. Erythrocytes are biconcave, as you can see over here on the right, and that allows for increased surface area for oxygen and carbon dioxide to enter or leave the red blood cell. The main constituent within inside red blood cells is a protein known as hemoglobin, which is an oxygen binding protein. There are roughly 250 million molecules of hemoglobin within one red blood cell. One hemoglobin molecule can bind 4 oxygen molecules. So if there's 250 million times 4, that is 1 billion oxygen molecules that are capable of being transported by one red blood cell. If we look at this image right here, this is just showing another representation of the makeup of blood. Once again, 55% is blood plasma, 45% is hematocrit, which is the percentage of red blood cells within our blood, and less than 1% is the buffy coat, which is white blood cells and platelets.